Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Blockchain Summit Fireside Chat. We are just so excited to come to you today because we have a very important topic that we need to discuss. And this is actually one of the first times that I've been asked to either be on or moderate a panel on a topic in the cryptocurrency space that is important to all of us. We have just the queen. We have the queen. We have the queen that is here today. I'm going to have her introduce herself, but we're going to be talking for the next few minutes and sharing with you what keeping family first on a cryptocurrency, on a crypto journey looks like, or what it should look like, or what you should aspire for your life to look like, because we know that family is very, very important. And so we have the queen here, and I am super excited. I had to wear a special jacket today that she gave me. I just absolutely love it. And I appreciate her. I appreciate all of her work and all of the things
Thank
that
you.
she has done in the space. And I'm going to just have her introduce herself because the queen is here. And welcome.
Thank you so much, Najah. Oh, that's so humbling. Yeah, my name is Alakanani Itireleng. So I'm mostly known as the Bitcoin lady in the space. So I've been in this journey for quite some time. And I'm super excited of this conversation because I do believe, we'll get to know more about what I do, some of the challenges that, I face, and, how I've been able to keep my head up despite all the circumstance that one has to go through in the space. So yeah, I'm Alakanani Drilling, or just call me Bitcoin lady. Yeah, I
All
think
right. So,
yeah.
yes, 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 yes. So, Bitcoin lady, so that people really understand what it takes in its totality, tell us a little bit about what you do and some of the
Mhm.
challenges that you've been facing as of late.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Bitcoin educator. I always believe that I am one. I've been running the Satoshicentre for quite some time now. So what we basically do, we just educate people about the blockchain. My vision in the very beginning of things was, to make sure that I educate people about Bitcoin is. If you are one of the people that have been following my journey from 2012, you'll find that there were times that I would walk in the streets and I'll be talking to people in the streets about Bitcoin, asking them, what is Bitcoin? Have you ever heard of Bitcoin? And then I'll start telling people about Bitcoin is. And from the street, I tried to build a center, which is the Satoshicentre. It has not been easy. It has been hard for me, more especially, being a family person, being married and having a kid. And sometimes it becomes so hard to kind of like focus on what you really, really want to do. Like what I love the most, what I love more than anything is Bitcoin. That's why I call myself Bitcoin lady, because it's one thing that I really want to focus on, and then, but at the same time, you find yourself, having to like hold some meetups at the center which are not Bitcoin related, not because you don't love Bitcoin, but because somehow you have to make end meet to make sure that you feed your family. So, but at the end of the day, I love Bitcoin. If there's the biggest thing that I'm dreaming of for the future is for me to see Bitcoin, taking over Africa and people understanding it better. Because what I've come to realize, especially in my country, is that people don't understand Bitcoin really that much. That is why you see a lot of people falling into scams and scams and scams and scams and scams. And sometimes when you try to make them understand or differentiate between things, they really don't want to understand because they want to make money very quick. So which becomes kind of a challenge for someone like me to try and say, okay, I see you want to come out of poverty, but there's a better way of doing it instead of doing what you do. So I guess the biggest challenge for me is to really reach people with the right information. And number two, to be able to do it, but at the same time, not being unable to feed my family. So I guess that's for me, that's the thing.
Absolutely. So when you say, and so let me just preface my questions with a statement. So I
Mhm.
understand exactly what you're feeling. I've watched you over the years. You definitely had your Satoshi Center and doing what you were doing before I opened my center in
Yeah.
California, in Los Angeles. And I really understand exactly what you're saying about the entrepreneurship journey, but at the same time, really wanting to make sure that family is around and included, and that you have the time to spend with the family. What other types of events have you had to have at your Satoshi Center in order to make ends meet? What types of events?
I think mostly it's like, for example, Stella. I have done an event for Stella, for example, where they want to talk to developers. So most of the events that have happened in my center were developer related. Where like Stella will say that we want to have an event and we want to teach people about Stella chain, and then we bring people in, and then the guys at the center kind of like help people around or who have come to the event to teach them about Stella. That's one of the examples that we have done. We have done a Cardano event where people come and then we teach them about what Cardano is and what Cardano does. We've had an event where Binance wanted to. That one was not done in my center, but I was instrumental in bringing them to Botswana, where they wanted to like have and what do you call it, meetup to educate people about what blockchain is, what Bitcoin is. So that's some of the events that I have. I had an ICP event where they came and I wanted to have a group of developers to learn about their blockchain and get people to build on the ICP blockchain. Those are some of the events that I have. But most of the time, the events that I have, which are mine, are Bitcoin related most of the time, where I just talk to people what Bitcoin is, and also I try to protect people up on scams. And I had events whereby we have got Bitcoin Pizza Day. We've had many Bitcoin Pizza Day, except this year because I felt like I was not financially stable enough to be able to do that one. So this year is the one that I missed it. But most of the time I have all the Bitcoin Pizza Day. I've been holding them in my center, and I've been teaching people about that. And I have an event that is coming next year in May. It was supposed to be in September, but we moved it because of the coming elections and all that. So we've got a bigger event where now I approached the Ministry of Entrepreneurship. So I wrote them a proposal to say I want to educate people about what blockchain is, and even educate people in government about what blockchain is and what it can do for my country. And I organized the summit, which is coming up in September. So most of the people that I've called are around in Africa, to just come and educate the people that matter, because I feel like the people that matter really don't really know the blockchain tech. They don't really know, they don't really know in deep. What they know is what is happening in the space, which are mostly the scams. So the whole idea of the summit is to like bring knowledge to the people that matter, to the people that are doing the regulations, the people that are, making policies for us. So that's why now I decided, okay, let me have this event. And now I'm praying to God that the event becomes successful, because when I've done that, I'll feel like, okay, I've really reached the people that matter. If I can reach the people that matter, who knows what will come after this. So maybe we'll see a little more acceptance, a little more adoption of the blockchain technology, a little more acceptance of the Bitcoin. So because we cannot talk about blockchain without talking about the Bitcoin, we cannot separate the two. So yeah, so those are some of the stuff that I have done.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
hear your passion. I hear your pain. I feel
Yeah. True.
exactly what you're saying. And that brings us into the topic that we're here for today.
Yeah.
How do you have and keep a balance of family on this cryptocurrency journey? Because there's a lot of work to do. And
Yeah.
most of the time you find it that you're doing it yourself because you're the most
Yeah.
passionate about doing it, and you don't
Yeah.
really have the funding to hire a bunch of people to do it, and you
Yeah.
become the person that does it all. So how do you keep a balance with family life?
Yeah. For me, I think I've been blessed enough. in the sense that my husband, at the end of the day, ended up understanding what I'm doing. So when I started the journey, being an educator in Bitcoin space, I learned it when I was trying to get help for my son, who later passed away. And after that, I told my husband that, what I have learned about this Bitcoin thing, I feel like if I can educate more people, it will have like some kind of use. It will have some kind of, deliverance kind of, it will deliver my people somehow. So when I started my first meetup, I think there were only about 10. And the 10th person there was my husband. So he attended the event. So out of those 10 people, he was the 10th one. So he understood, and then he started attending the meetups that I do. So I'll say for him, he's been my support structure. Even when I travel, I have to go and, in speaking engagement, I have to tell him that, I want to go there. Sometimes it's an issue of when you go there, they're paying you. What are they, what are you benefiting from this? Then I'll say, okay, what I'm benefiting out of this, if I'm not paid for that, what I'm benefiting is the knowledge. When I come back from there, I'm meeting people with different information that I'll never get when I'm home. I'll get more resources, which I won't get when I'm home. So I'm getting a network, which I won't get when I'm home. So that on its own, it helped me, because he's supportive enough. He's helped me to develop it enough to grow. So the balance is to make him understand that this thing it's bigger than me. Bitcoin is bigger than me as an individual. But when I get it, more people will get even much more, liberated. They will get more financial liberation. They'll get even knowledge that, they might go and start something even bigger than what I'm doing, which has been my vision. If I educate people and then I have more people getting into it and understanding, and we'll see adoption happening. So for me, that's how I'll say I've been blessed enough that he understands that I have to do this thing. It's like a calling. It's like when you have got a husband or a wife who is a pastor, that in the middle of the night, he might receive calls to say, hey, somebody needs prayer. So for him, he's like that. He knows that, that's one of the callings that my wife has. He's always talking about Bitcoin, even when I go through challenges, because sometimes I go through challenges that I never envisioned will happen to me, especially that I've been true to my calling. But there are times that I find myself, being in the wrong side of the law for reasons that I never even understood how I got myself there. And I didn't even get myself there. Somebody decided to okay, let me throw them under the bus. And, I find myself there. But at the same time, my husband will be like, it comes with what you are doing. There'll be somebody who will just be saying things that don't make sense. It comes with that, with what you're doing. And then you get that, relief. You get that, okay, I still have to keep on pushing. I still have to keep on going until the time I feel like, okay, I have to retire now and then and sit. So that's how I balance. I think the balance comes from the support that I get from him.
Absolutely. And I don't want to discount anything that you said, because you said some very important things that I want to bring out. But first and foremost, let me say to you, thank you for your strength and my condolences to you. I heard you say that you lost a child, and I just don't, none of us understand that, but I know that just because of who you are and the strength that you have, I just want to say condolences to you, and thank you for continuing to push and move on. And as it relates to your husband being the backbone and really supporting you, a supportive spouse is what you absolutely have to have in this space.
Yeah.
And you take him with you to travel, and he understands what's going on. He understands the calling. And again, I think we're living parallel lives, because I have a very supportive husband. He goes with me as I travel and talk about Bitcoin. And there have been times, and people don't understand that. We have families, but there are times when we're not paid to speak. I've even been in a position where I have paid for my airline ticket and my hotel room to get somewhere to do some education, because, I felt the need to do that. And the tour that we take every year across the United States, most of that is self-funded, and it takes away from our families. And so when you find yourself in a position, and everybody thinks you have all the money because you are the Bitcoin lady, right? Or you are the queen of crypto, as they would call me.
Yeah.
But they feel like we should have it and we should do it. And so going, just give me, and I know this, it doesn't really have to do with family. It does, because we've got to take care of our family. But what have been the challenges of you getting funding for your Satoshi Center?
I've never received any funding.
Never received
So
any funding. Isn't that
no.
interesting?
So I think the only support that I've been getting was like when Stacy and Max, Stacy Herbert and Max Kaiser, they've been kind of like, they'll be like talking to people on Twitter. Okay, and then people will be like, keep giving $200, $100. The maximum, I think the biggest somebody has ever given, like in large sum, was somebody who gave $1,000 once. And I've never received like the funding whereby I'm like, okay, you've received this big amount of money, run the center for a year or for 2 years. The best thing that any company has ever done for me, I do believe, was PEX4. PEX4 did adopt us for like a year to do some education for them. We will be teaching people about Bitcoin. They'll be giving us topics to be teaching people about. And then that's the one company. But in terms of just support, not proper funding, support. I had Bitcoin. It was called Play Better. I had Bitcoin. Bitcoin were like supporting my journey from 2013. Whenever I have like meetups, I have like events like Bitcoin Pizza Day. If I wanted to hold an event like Bitcoin Pizza Day, I'll talk to Marvin Jones of Bitcoin. I'll talk to him and say, look, I want to have an event, and then he will support the event. That's one person who will be like always be there when I wanted to do like events. I have this event, then he will support me. I have this event, then he will support me. So that's the kind of support I have been having, not whereby somebody will say, okay, I'm funding Satoshicentre to run as a center. No, I haven't gotten to that stage yet. Yeah, no.
And let me just say, and you should, for the time that you put in and the center that you have, our ecosystem should be supporting us and supporting you. And so we're going to just keep pushing forward and know that those things are coming. As it relates to your child that you have now, how do you incorporate your child into the business and what you're doing in the Bitcoin space?
He's smart. He's smart. So I'll give you that. His name is Bakang. He's very smart, and he understands what Bitcoin is. I remember one time when he was saying to me, Mama, you are Bitcoin lady. So does it mean that you are the one who founded Bitcoin? So he was asking. He was asking me, I'm the one. No, he was not even asking me. He was saying, oh, you are the one who did the Bitcoin. That's your money. You are the one who did the Bitcoin. I said, no, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. So he thought like I'm the one who founded Bitcoin. I said, no, I'm not the one. So he knows that Mama is Bitcoin lady. He knows that Mama runs Satoshicentre. He knows that. He knows that I'm just super crazy about Bitcoin, because I always kind of like tell him, because he sees some of the stickers on my laptops. My laptop is what it has, these stickers, Bitcoin stickers and stuff. So he knows that Mama is like really, really involved in Bitcoin. So, and he's also like somebody who's like very tech savvy. He's 12, he'll be turning 13 in November. So I'm praying to God that, as he grows, he's gonna like be the guys that adopt Bitcoin in whatever that he'll be doing in the tech space. So he understand Bitcoin. So whenever like I'm having Bitcoin Pizza Day, he is there. Whenever I'm having like events, he's there. Like I remember the last one that he went, it was in April or in February? We're having a no one's event. We're teaching people about Bitcoin, and he was like raising his hand, asking questions. I was like, is that my son? I was very proud. I was super proud. I was like, man, my son is asking questions. He shows that he understands the conversations that we're having about Bitcoin and about opening wallets, and he was talking about even hacking. I remember he was talking about all that. So he's like super smart. So I do believe in the coming 3-4 years, he'll be one of the person who will be running my vision. I do believe so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
I know that there are big things to come from the Bitcoin lady's son
Yeah. Yeah.
space. This is good. It's something, it's knowledge and it's just an incredible thing that we're able to pass on to our children,
Yeah.
being in the Bitcoin space, because they're ahead of what everyone else is doing around them, especially their
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And so do you ever take time? And I'm going to ask this, do you ever take time? And you've been going since 2013. I've only been
Mhm.
going since 2017 as a
Mm.
center. So you have some time on me. Do you ever take time and just shut down and say, hey, I'm not going to do anything in this space for the next month or the next 3 months, or just really give and devote that time to the family?
Yeah, it's because sometimes you feel like, okay, I've given my time like this. Especially I'll say in my country, I've given time. I've tried to educate people, and I'm at the time where I feel like people are not getting it. Once I have taught them this to protect them, they still run to the scams. Sometimes it really hit my heart so hard. You come at that point where you feel like maybe I'm in the wrong space, or I'm in the wrong country. Definitely the wrong country. I always feel like I'm in the wrong country sometimes. I remember last year I went through the most difficult time of my life. I don't think I shared that thing with a lot of people. I guess maybe I shared with John and Chris. You know, I received no, first I wanted to change some of my bitcoins in an exchange, and my money got stuck. So I didn't understand what was happening. And then I tried to call the exchange. The exchange were just doing this, not giving me proper straight answers as to what was happening. I ended up finding myself going to the regulator to go and ask the regulator, I have money in this exchange, but they're not giving me money. And later I learned that, the regulator told me that, we are investigating something, like I'm part of the investigation and part of the people who have been investigated. I'm like, what did I do to be investigated by the regulator? So at that time, the regulator did not tell me anything. This thing went on for about 8 months. I'm talking 8 months where I'm sitting here not understanding what is happening. I'm sitting there questioning myself, like, I've been in this space for long. I've been doing proper things. I've never even once, there is nobody in Botswana who can raise their hands and say, Allah made me join a scam, or Allah made me join a Ponzi scheme. And here I was entangled, in issues of scams and having my life disrupted because, I was being investigated as part of a scam or whatever. That was the moment that was like really, really hard for me. And later on, I learned that the reason why I was being part of it, somebody came to me, they wanted to do a peer-to-peer. They wanted me to buy them some USDT. And I went and then I took funds from them, and I wanted to buy USDT from that exchange, only to learn that the person who was buying the crypto was part of a Ponzi scheme. So they thought like I was like part of the Ponzi scheme. I was like, no, this person, you can even see my messages. That's one thing that exonerated me. I showed them that when the person contacted me, said, hey, do you remember me? I used to buy crypto from you. My name is blah, 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 blah. I said, no, I don't remember you. Can you show me your photo? And then he showed me, oh, I remember you. Now you've grown big. He said, no, I wanted to buy some USDT from you. And then I got myself in trouble for that. I found myself with the regulator, and I found myself, my account, been frozen. I've been having the bank threatening to close my bank account. And I found myself in that situation whereby I'm like, I've been so truthful. I've been so honest, and I can put my head on the chopping board to say I have never in my journey of crypto found myself doing any scams. I've never joined a Ponzi scheme, but here I am. My head is on the chopping board. My life is being disrupted. I'm somebody who's supposed to protect me doesn't want to protect me. Somebody who's supposed to say to me, I know this person, he will never be on a Ponzi scheme. They didn't want to protect me. They just threw me under the bus. That was the moment like I began to question myself. I said, man, am I in the right space? If people who know me, who know me are not even here to defend me, am I in the right space? Those were the moments where I felt like quitting last year. And this thing went on until, remember, it started in July. It went on until February of 2024. From July 2023 to February 2024. I had to fight for my reputation. I have to fight for who I am. I have to stay true to who I am and tell people who I am. And I was feeling like, but the people who know me were not there to protect me. The people in the space who know me were not there to protect me. They were like, no, but the regulator said, but what about you? You know me. You know, I cannot be like that. Those were the moments. But, I felt like quitting in that moment. I felt like if people who are like here closer to me and they know me, but they can't protect me, and I'm going through all this, it was the most difficult season of my life. It was difficult with no business coming in because I couldn't do anything for crypto. They were not allowing me to do anything for crypto. I couldn't do, those meetups, they helped me to make money, to have money in the family. I couldn't have money in the house. My husband was working for an exchange. He ended up not working for it, because of this thing that was, somebody just piled on us and say we are part of this thing, which wasn't true. And it was sad. That was the moment for me where I felt like I want to quit. But as time of just wanting to have time with my husband, I always try by all means to, give him all the time, because he is a farmer. He loves farming. I always try by all means to give him that time and always, spend time with my family. Because most of the time I'm here, my center is in Gaborone. I only, separate with them when I go for events, like when I go for a blockchain events or Bitcoin events outside the country. That's the only time I kind of separate with them. But most of the time I'm with them. But the moment I wanted to quit was these 8 months. I wanted to quit because I felt like people have just put my head on the chopping board and nobody was rescuing me to say, but I know Ala. I know she loves Bitcoin with all her heart and she won't do anything to jeopardize her name. She won't do anything to mess up her reputation. But at that moment, there was nobody to rescue me. It was me against the law, me against whatever was happening at that time until I was exonerated, until they've done their they take their time investigating until I was, so, until they felt like, okay, it was time for, we know we have seen that you are educating people, continue doing what you are doing. But the pain that I went through in 8 months was too much.
Yes. But I do want to say this because of our topic. You did not do it alone. You had your fabulous husband and your son, wife side, and family is what kept you going. And the fact that your husband didn't say, you know what, just throw in the towel and move on. We got to move on. And again, we have so many things in our lives that are parallel. When we finally can sit down and talk, you will be like, man, that is something. But I want to thank you for being so open and transparent. I want to make sure that everybody knows who you are, where you are, because we didn't tell everybody what country in Africa that we are talking to you from. Botswana.
Yes, of course.
Yes, Botswana. And so for those of you that are here in the United States of America, that listen to me as I educate, I've been saying Black folks in America are going to have to find some place to live. So Botswana could be one of your choices because there's a Satoshi there. So how do the listeners get in contact with you as we wrap up? How do they get in contact with you?
On Twitter, I'm at Bitcoin Lady. That's on Twitter. You can then we can have a chat from there at Bitcoin Lady.
Okay.
And that's
Twitter,
that's my
Bitcoin Lady.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's Bitcoin Lady. Yeah.
And for the Satoshicentre, is there a website that they can look at for the Satoshicentre?
Yeah, we have got two websites. We have got Satoshicentre.io, which is Satoshicentre. The center is CENTRE. So that's the center, Satoshicentre.io. And then we've got Satoshicentre.org. which is the
Okay.
one for the summit. That's the one for the summit.
Okay. And the
Yeah.
one that's Satoshicentre.org, that's still spelled
It's still the
CENTR.
same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. We want to make sure that everybody is
CENTRE.
able to contact you. Well,
Yeah.
Ala, I just have to say thank you so much for being the strength of the cryptocurrency space
Thank
in
you.
Botswana and being the strength as a mother and being the strength as a wife and being a strength as an educator. And if the community hasn't told you thank you, I want to tell you thank you in advance for
Thank
educating
you.
so that when we come to live there, you have already started planting the seed and people know that you're there. They know that we're
Thank you.
here. They
Thank
just
you.
and we're gonna have, and I know you don't do this for the fame and the glory and all those things, but I just want to tell you to keep your head up, stay strong. It is coming, change is coming, and things are
Thank
going
you.
to turn in our favor, and they're going to turn in your favor, and just
Thank
continue
you.
to be the fabulous mother and wife and educator that you are. We appreciate you and have an incredible rest of your evening.